This is the 21st season of Bass Talk Live. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Strike King Lures, Aftco, Pro Guide Batteries, Spro, Gamakatsu, The Bass Tank, Denali Rods, Beatdown Outdoors, and Sunline.
BTL coming at you.
Welcome to a special edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where we are going to talk about bass fishing. A little bit different show today, following it up after a day 4 with Frank Scalish. But if you've been listening to BTL over the last couple weeks, you know I've been talking about something that I'm really excited that we are launching with Bass Talk Live at another company, with 100% of the proceeds going to St. Jude. You know, over the past the 3 to 4 years, I've partnered with Adam Bartuzek from the Crappie Chronicles to fish the Hiley St. Jude Bass Classic up in Wabasha, Minnesota. That tournament always takes place the first week of May on the Mississippi River, and over $7 million raised for St. Jude. It's a really unique format. The teams raise money for St. Jude, and your individual team, like me and Adam Bartuzek, would be a team. The amount of money you raise directly correlates with your takeoff number in that tournament. So it's really cool to see, and it takes upwards of $100,000 per team. So this 100-boat tournament over the 25 years has raised over $7 million. 2 of the last 3 years has hit the $1 million mark. $1.1 million raised strictly from these teams raising money. And you go to this thing every year in the first week of May, and it's really interesting to hear how the teams raise money. You have some that know wealthy benefiters who say, yeah, I'll donate, 5 figures to St. Jude for this. You have others who do events at like maybe a bar or a restaurant. You have other anglers who auction off, professional anglers who have donated stuff. At BTL, we do the Bass Fishing Saves Lives t-shirts in coordination with the Crappie Chronicles, and Adam Bartuzek does a lot of fundraising on the Crappie Chronicle side. And then also we do an in-person fundraiser for it. Last year, we were just shy of $50,000. And a big part of that was the Bass Talk Live community that stepped up, that donated. Also, we worked in coordination with Chris Zaldane and Trait. We had a fundraiser in coordination with the Bassmaster Classic that was there in Fort Worth, Texas. But I say that to lead it to this. I was always looking to improve the donation to St. Jude. And for the last, I've known Tom for a long time now. He's been in the industry for a while, and he wasn't rather outdoors. And then a year or two ago, he's like, hey man, like there's some really cool stuff that's happening. And then he takes over a job working for Fishing Chaos. And I had known Fishing Chaos through the Logan Parks tournament and the Logan Parks Foundation that he had with it. I'd met one of the owners at a Bass Cat owners tournament, but I really just didn't have in my head of how it all worked. And then just through chatting with Tom, I said, hey, I think there is a really cool opportunity to involve BTL with some of the things that Fishing Chaos is doing, and then to take that and introduce it to the BTL community, the BTL family, with 100% of the proceeds going towards St. Jude. So a way to engage the BTL fans and listener base for 12 months out of the year, benefit Fishing Chaos, benefit BTL, and benefit St. Jude. So today we're going to have Tom on, and we're going to have several announcements of how you guys can get involved with this, what Fishing Chaos is, how it works. We're going to run through the whole thing. We've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and I'm not exactly sure how this is going to go, but I'm super pumped for it. So Tom, thanks for jumping on BTL.
Absolutely, man. We'll see how it shakes out. I think we're coming up on like 10 years of knowing each other. So yeah, we're getting old.
Yeah, I know it is. It's crazy how long, how quick it goes when you're in a industry that you're passionate about. Fortunately, with BTL jumping in the first time in 2007, I'm approaching 20 years in it, and it feels like about 5 years.
Golly.
So, let's get it right out of the gate first. Let's get the announcement out of the way, and then we'll circle back to what Fishing Chaos is, how you got involved in this, and how the BTL listeners can get involved in this. But basically, behind the scenes for the last several months, I've been working with you with Fishing Chaos, and we are launching a virtual bass fishing tournament, and there's a crappie element to it on Fishing Chaos that is going to kick off in October. It's going to run all the way through April. There's an entry fee for it on Fishing Chaos through the Fishing Chaos app, where BTL listeners, even if you don't listen or watch BTL, anybody in the country can sign up to fish this tournament. It is a length tournament where you have certain length measurements. You take your phone, you have certified bump boards. We're going to get into all this. You take it, you do your best 5, and there will be monthly prizes for it. There will be one long tournament that runs from October all the way through April. We're going to get Frank Scalish involved. We're going to get into all that because it takes a little bit to completely understand it. And once it clicks, you're like, oh, this is freaking cool. But there's going to be an entry fee associated with that. What I did through meetings with Fishing Chaos and with Tom and on the back end is 100% of those entry fees is going to be donated to St. Jude for the Dick Hiley St. Jude Bass Classic. It's going to be trackable. And then the prizes are going to be donated, which I've already cleared from the BTL sponsor list. Your AFCOs, your Sunlines, your Denali's, things like that. So it literally brings everything in. And that is the basis of it. Did I explain it pretty good, Tom?
I think you absolutely nailed that. Yeah. Anybody can jump in, boat, bank, or kayak anywhere in the country. And it's for a great cause. Doesn't get better than that.
All right. Let's start at the beginning. What is Fishing Chaos?
What is Fishing Chaos? So they started 7 years ago, and I got introduced to them about 4 years ago. What it comes down to, if I could summarize it is a tournament-driven angling community platform. You have in-person tournaments that do their registration and their scoring through the app. And it just simplifies that registration process. It simplifies tracking Angler of the Year standings. It allows those tournament organizations to also add value to their sponsor packages, to their sponsors for their events by being able to put, banner ads or, the same things you would see like on a weigh-in stage. You can have that in your registration environment too. And then there's the online tournament side, and that is your catch photo release from anywhere in the country. And you're also seeing online tournaments that qualify into in-person tournaments. Essentially, it's all things tournaments. And then the anglers that are fishing these tournaments have also the opportunity to be a part of various communities that are brand-led, personality-led, I would say, like BTL. And BTL now has an angling community on there, that's where you'll go to get updates on the tournament, see the live leaderboards. But essentially, that's what it is. It is a tournament-driven angling community, and it's not just bass fishing. We have saltwater tournaments, panfish, everything under the sun. But it's ballooned in the past 3 years with the nationwide side.
Yeah, so 2 aspects to it. One of which is like if you fished a Bass Nation tournament, perhaps if you're a tournament director who runs a tournament trail who needs back end system support as far as your weigh-in process, your Angler of the Year, your points, you have no idea if you're fishing in that tournament. That's a weigh your 5 fish in or whatever the tournament. Fishing Chaos takes care of the back end of that. So there's a good chance that if you're a tournament fisherman, you fished in a tournament, the Fishing Chaos has been the support system for that tournament trail. What we're talking about here is the online portion of the Fishing Chaos company. I've got it pulled up here, and I'm going to add it to the stage. So this is what it looks like. And these are the ones that are actually going on right now, and this is where the BTL tournament will be. So you have the Big Bass, Giant Bass 365-day tournament that anybody in the country, bank angling, kayak, John boat, 2024 Bass Cat, Puma, STS with electronics rigged by the Bass Tank and power brakes on it. We're all competing in for the same fish there, correct?
Yep. Yep, exactly. And you mentioned that Bill Dance tournament. So Bill Dance told me himself that his goal with this tournament is to create the largest bass fishing tournament of all time. So pretty big words coming from the legend right there. So that's a very cool tournament to check out.
Uh, the next one that's currently going on right now is the SMC Scott Martin Challenge Nationwide Bass Tournament presented by Lose. And we're going to dive into this to kind of give an example of how some things are going to work here. So as a tournament angler who's fished tournaments since I was 14 years old, and every tournament outside of some Dunker stuff, which was the catchway release, is you catch your 5 fish, you bring them in, it's your total weight, you shake the guy's hand who wins, or they shake your hand in the rare occasion that you catch 5 bigger bass than everyone else, and you go home. When I went to Mexico for, this is my weekly notice, for the Team USA Bass, the Pan American Games, Scott was competing in an online tournament on Fishing Chaos that was, I believe, Southern Strings at the time.
Yep. Southern String Classic.
The Southern String Classic. I was like, yeah, I don't understand like taking pictures of length of fish and uploading it and stuff. But when I had more contact with you, I said, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to tell Tom this. I'm going to download the app, the Fishing Chaos app. I'm going to pay my $20 entry fee because currently the SMC Nationwide Bass Challenge is going on. I'm going to work through it. I'm going to go fishing. I'm going to submit my fish, and I'm going to see if this is something that I think BTL listeners and viewers would really benefit from and get involved with, or is it something that's cool that I don't really understand and we'll move on to the next one. So I signed up for the SMC Nationwide Challenge. I paid my $20. I had to like just engage something in my camera that shows you can tell where the location is. Like I said, we'll get into all of this. There's 2 different rounds for it. I signed up for the Central Division because I live in Oklahoma. There's all sorts of different leaderboards that we'll get into, but there it is right there. I signed up for it. I can see all my info on fish, my catch log, how I weigh them in, and all that. And then I can go in. There's all sorts of rules on this. And then I can go in and I can see all the leaderboards. So there's different divisions here. So there's the Northeast, the Southeast, the Central.
Look who's in first place.
We'll get there. The big 3. So I've gone fishing 4 or 5 times now. I've submitted catches. I am fishing in the Central Division. And I will say, if any money that I earn through the Fishing Chaos, there's cash prizes for this, that is going to get donated directly to St. Jude. So I'm not making any money off of this, but I do want to win and I do want to donate whatever that, if there is a prize, to St. Jude. But I started understanding how cool this is because there's also another element to this where you can join a team where it is within it. And this is just a basic overview of how BTL is going to be slightly different. But I'm on the water. I've downloaded the Fishing Chaos app. I'm following the leaderboards. I'm checking it in. I'm going fishing more. I'm fishing towards the team. I'm also fishing towards individual prizes. And I think I called you and I said, I get it. Remember that call? I was pretty excited as a content creator, as the host of BTL that's all about entertain, educate, and engage. I said, this checks the boxes on all of them, particularly the engage.
Yep. And when that clicked for you, I remember when that clicked for me too. It's when you're going in that leaderboard and you're seeing where you stand and you see it kind of shuffling each day and it's actually pushing you to get out there and fish maybe more than you would just so you can stay on top of that leaderboard and you still have that same just competitive juice. It's just, and a lot of these have been multiple weeks or even a month, but you'll see some, especially here next year, where it's a pop-up tournament where it's 24 hours. And it may be just your biggest fish during that period. There's all kinds of there's all kind of different rules. Basically if there's an idea that you have for what would be a cool tournament or a cool challenge, you can execute it on the app.
So the cool thing that Fishing Chaos agreed to do was partner with BTL for this. And on the back end, it is not cheap when you talk about the back end of organizing and nationwide, in some cases international, because Mexico could be included in it. I don't know. Could we include Japan or Canada and all that in there too, if we wanted
you
to?
You can.
Okay, because I know we have a lot of international listeners, especially in Canada. And well, the problem with Australia, even though we have a pretty solid fan base in Australia, is they do not have any black bass in Australia.
Well, and shipping can be hard.
Yes, shipping can be hard. But I digress. So what Fishing Chaos said was, okay, we'll take care of all this back end. We're going to do all the organization that you suck at, Matt. We're going to run top tier platinum level BTL tournament for the next year. And we love the St. Jude element in it. So that's kind of where we are right now. And we're announcing the first ever, and I would assume annual, Fishing Chaos Bass Talk Live online tournament that will kick off in October.
Let's go. Yeah. And so you mentioned that tournament actually ends in April. I think it's April 15th is what we decided. Yeah. So basically that's going to be a monthly mini tournaments within the overall series. So they'll have opportunities to win at multiple stages throughout that competition.
Yeah. Okay. Explain that, Tom. This is where I think I had the toughest time understanding how the system works, how the product works, because you have overall tournaments, you have monthly winners, and then you have specialty tournaments within the overall tournament. But really what it does is it allows more people to get involved when they're able to get involved throughout the country based on their time of the year. So from start to finish, explain the format.
So the format can actually, for your individual
for BTL, I don't care what it could be. Just explain what it is going to be for BTL, and then you can get on there by yourself and see all the different tweaks that you can do to it.
So essentially, it's a tournament series, like the BFLs or the Opens, where it's several tournaments that are all part of I guess it'll be about a 6-month period where they have multiple opportunities to win each of those individual events, but collectively there's a series. And then at the end, we talked about declaring an overall winner that could be based on like overall angler of the year during that period. But yeah, then there's winners at each 30-day period. So I think the first one we had starting October 1st, that would be October 1st through 31st. And then you'd have the month of November, December, January, February, and then March and April.
So you sign up for the one-time fee for the overall tournament. And we haven't decided exactly what that's going to be. Very reasonable, though. But like I said, 100% of the proceeds, 100% of that goes directly to St. Jude. Yep. So you are going to have the overall leaderboard, which regardless of where you are in each region, it's broken down into regions, which... I
think we go with North, South, and Big Three for this one.
Yeah, North, South, and Big Three. So there's 3 regions. So you have California. I think we're going to throw Mexico in there too, because we're doing the BTL trip down to Mexico. You got to get those guys in there. So
you're about to have a lot of Canadians mad at you.
What?
We should probably throw Canada in the North.
Yeah, we could do. We might be able. I could probably swing some extra prizes on that. So your 5 biggest fish in each region, you're going to have an overall region winner. That's your 5 longest fish measured accurately from October 1st through April 15th. That is just a long stand running tournament. So every time you go out fishing, you can measure one and submit it.
Absolutely. Yep.
There's also a secondary element to this where every month, and this doesn't cost anything extra for the monthly tournaments, correct?
No, they're paying for the whole series.
So every month you have a chance to win a smaller prize if you are at the top of your region for that month. So that resets every month. So let's say you don't go fishing in October, but you do a lot of November fishing down in Florida. You can still win November, and then you can still fish for the overall in that.
Yes. And you can still fish other tournaments all simultaneously. I mean, whenever you go to submit your fish, you can. Yeah,
there's a lot of guys that are in like 4 online tournaments at the same time. Then there's a third element to this. You see why I wanted to do this show with you, just to understand it. The third element is there are going to be 3 additional entry fee month-long tournaments. Frank Scalish loves St. Jude, loves what we've done with that. We're going to do a day 4 Frank Scalish, and that's going to be a 30-day tournament for like a additional smaller fee. So it counts for your overall, it counts for the monthly, but then there's going to be a complete separate tournament within a tournament within a tournament just for that month for the day 4 listeners, with an additional set of prizes that you'll get at the end of that month too. Yep. There'll be a crappie, a 30-day crappie tournament sponsored by One Standard with the introduction of Crappie Talk Live, which kicks off in October, where we'll have a 30-day big fish single longest crappie. And that is nationwide. So if you want to get in on the crappie stuff, so Fishing Chaos is going to have that on the background. That will not count towards anything for the bass thing. That's a completely separate one that we're going to have for the crappie tournament. Top 10 longest crappie submitted get prizes. And then as the final push, we will have a BTL tournament for March 15th through April 15th. To kind of juice it up. And that way, if you haven't gotten in throughout the year, if you've been in a part of the country that doesn't get good until March or whatever, if you're getting in late, you'll have an opportunity for an additional small fee to enter that tournament, all encompassed in the one big tournament, all with the monthly prizes along the way. Did I confuse people, or do you think that was well thought out?
Oh, we'll let the viewers decide, but I think you nailed that. I think that was crystal clear.
It will take probably a week of fishing it, signing up for it, looking at the dashboard, the tournament stuff on Fishing Chaos, to where if you've never done this before, if you're coming in completely cold, which I think a lot of the BTL listeners and viewers who are doing this will be, once it clicks and once you understand it, you will be hooked on this stuff.
Well, and it's just a different way than what people are used to, but it is the same goal in the end. It is being able to accurately verify and officiate the scoring of fish to eliminate the possibility of cheating. And that's why, whether it's about a measuring board or a scale, people go back and forth, and at the end of the day, being able to have a level playing field, everybody's got the same exact measuring board, or the same, you're using inches, that allows us to also on the back end using Real Tournament Management, which is a company that's part of Fishing Chaos, where they are officiating and making sure all of these fish are verified and that nobody is cheating. It allows it to be more legitimate when it comes to the scoring of fish. And that's something that once you actually get out on the water and you score the fish, you will get what Matt and I are talking about, which is the same thing you experience when you're out on the water and, it's 2:00 and you got 16 pounds and you're guessing that the winner's probably got 18. So you got to get a couple more bites in there. It's that same competitive juice. It's just over, for a lot of tournaments, an extended period of time, which allows people to sort of fish at their leisure. And so I would just say to the viewer, give it a shot and you'll see what we're talking about. It is, the competition's there.
So here's what I found interesting. I love the fact that I can go out by myself on any public body of water for 30 minutes or 8 hours over the course of 2 weeks, which is what for 3 weeks, which is what the first division of this Scott Martin, which is set up a little bit differently than what we're doing with BTL. But I like that I can go home and have 90 inches on the board and look at it and realize that Nathan Brown in Illinois or Robert Talbot, oh gosh, I knew I was going to run into it. Of course, Wisconsin, Chris Komorowski or Dennis Long has passed me by. And now I have to go back out and catch more fish the next day. And I'm still just doing my best 5. So like right now I have a 22.5, a 21, a 21, a 21, and a 20. And I've started this from September 8th. One of them's from September 10th. A couple of them are September 8th. One September 15th. One September 17th. That was last night. I caught a I caught 22.5 incher last night, Tom. I put it on the scales. It was a 7-pounder. And I'm telling you what, I lost a couple that really would have maybe bumped me up over the inches. But I'm not used to the inches thing, right? I'm not used to the inches thing. So I'm kind of getting an understanding of that. But I also want to know, like, I also want to see like who I'm competing against and what the deal is. So then I can go to like the guy in second, who's Nathan Brown, and I can like look at his 20.75 inch fish right here. And there it is. There's the code that you have. We'll have a specific code for BTL. There's this fish. There it is. There it's measured. But the cool thing about that is you're building a community and you're competing against people that you don't know from all over the country. Like he's in Illinois. I'm in Oklahoma. Here's dude in the top 5 from Wisconsin, but I'm also not competing against like the Northeast region, which 108 inches is leading it. And I'm also not competing against the Southeast, which 120 inches is leading it. So it gives everyone a chance to do well in a tournament like this, especially since you catch 5 giants over the course of the 6 months, you got a great chance of doing it. But let's say you just have one really good month, or you're going on vacation to somewhere where there's some bigger fish, you got a chance to win that month.
Yeah.
But it's like you're in a club tournament or an open or that. It just never ends.
It's always on.
Yeah.
It's always on. Every fish that you catch, whether it's in practice, and again, or if you're not even preparing for a tournament, if you're just pond fishing, or fishing out of a kayak. I mean, you can, because it's always on, anytime you catch a fish of quality, there's something you could do with that gives you a chance to win something cool. So it's the ultimate contingency, and it's always on fishing. And then it's that community of all of us that share this passion for catching fish. You're all in there competing against each other. And again, like these can, we're in year 1 here, Matt. Maybe we get to a point where this does conclude with an in-person championship. We'll walk before we run with it. But I mean, once you get in there and you see this always on sort of fishing mentality, it's very cool.
And then as it goes and as people sign up for this, you'll have a lot of people hopefully sign up right there at the beginning of it so they can get all that fishing in. But as it goes throughout the year on the back end, we'll also know how much money this tournament is raising for St. Jude along the way, which is absolutely fantastic. Fishing Chaos doesn't make any money on this. BTL, myself, I make no money on this. The donations are all from the BTL sponsors. And then you guys will be able to see how many entries there had based on the entry fees, and that money go directly to St. Jude. I think that was a really cool way to raise money after you've kind of tapped guys out for getting volunteers and donations and stuff. But also, this is a key reason why I wanted to do this, is specifically with 100% to St. Jude. I know I have had an apprehension of doing online fishing tournaments and length tournaments. It's just not how my journey in the fishing world was raised. Even if you've never done this, even if you don't like it, which you're going to like it, even if you don't fish that much, you're still donating 100% to St. Jude. So it's a can't lose situation.
Well, and you talk about the origins of it, like kind of how you were introduced and why, length is a little bit different. And so a lot of people associate measuring boards with kayak fishing. And the reason for that is that's where it started, because, it was about, like what we talked about earlier, being able to validate and officiate a tournament while people are all in a kayak and they can't put fish in a live well. So this was the solution. But what it's done now is it's allowed to expand that same exact, well, hey, we ain't got a live well with us. We're all not meeting in the same place. So, let's make it a level competition. And so, there's just as many times where you'll have length benefit you in terms of if you have a 4-pound fish that's 23 inches, and then sometimes you have a 6-pound fish that's 22 inches. It all sort of levels out. There's times where it's advantageous to have length versus weight, and there are tournaments that are online that do weight. It's just about having a universal scale there at that point. Whereas measurement is a lot more universal than just based on brand of scale, which can change. change things. So
perfect example. Yesterday, I actually fished 2 lakes yesterday, Tom, and
you're getting after it.
Fishing Chaos knows what lakes you're on in the app, but no one else on the app knows where you are, where you caught your fish or anything. Talk about that.
I do want to point that out. So the reason that you are requested or required to have location settings on for this is because it is a public accessible bodies of water only tournament. Some of these allow for private pond fishing. It just depends on the event. Matt, I don't think we've talked about what we're going to allow in this one.
Yeah, we're going to do any public body of water. Like that's what Frank fishes. That's what I fish 95% of the time. I think that gives it the fairest. Now that doesn't mean that it's not a small city pond. That doesn't mean that it's not something that's accessible. But what that does is it keeps you from knowing a guy who knows a fish farm that is loaded with 8-pounders, and all of a sudden you got a guy with 120 inches and no one else has access to that. It's about exploring your bodies of water. It's about learning your fisheries. It's about taking adventures. It's about making risks. It's about maximizing the body of water, the strategy, the things in that. And I think a public body of water does that best for the audience that we have.
Absolutely. And that information is 100% private. And that's not something we share with anybody. It's not something we really go and look at unless we're having to verify if somebody is actually fishing a private pond or not, which that's happened. And then I've also had people that are like, I mean, 100% this guy's fishing a private pond. And then, we'll go look and he's not. He's found a juice hole somewhere that is public. So I think that's a cool element of it too. I mean, but yeah, I do want to clarify that we protect the consumer data. We do not share that anywhere. It is for the purpose of being able to, allow for verification of where people are fishing.
You talked about guys finding juice hole, and this is something I talked with you about too. The other thing that we're doing with BTL, so with the 6 monthly winners, you can only win your month twice. So let's say you do get a guy who have at it, catch as many 23 and 24 inch fish as you can win that monthly prize twice. So now if you're in it, now you're not dealing with the Kevin Van Dam of Fishing Chaos after that. They can still win. You can still win in your division, the day 4 one and the BTL kind of extravaganza one at the end of the month, but that just kind of levels it out, which I think is also important. Also important on that. There's all sorts of little things after you download the Fishing Chaos app. It's literally just in the iPhone App Store or the Google App Store, correct? And it's how did the people find that? It's totally free to download, that type of thing.
Yeah, you just go to the App Store, look up Fishing Chaos, and it's the blue icon with a little F logo on it. The FC.
The thing I like about this is you can tailor it to what we do on BTL. So if I look at my dashboard now and here, I'll show it and pull up the Scott Martin deal. This is legit. This is Fishing Chaos does all this on the back. It goes through everything. It goes through the qualification, the payouts. You get this as soon as you submit, as soon as you pay your entry fee, you get all the rules for that. The same thing will be for Basso. This isn't just willy-nilly here. So there's all sorts of basic tournament rules in there, but it's that public body of water. It's how you measure your fish. It's how you submit it. It's artificial baits only. It's as close to an in-person bass tournament as you can. It is in person, especially with some of the community ways that you can bring everyone together here. But it's just online, and you can do it 5 minutes from your house. You can do it on your week on vacation.
And there is the possibility, of a polygraph there too. It works like any other tournament would. You can go to the extremes. Hopefully that's not attracting people that would do something like that. But there are, processes in place to prevent that. So I think, and one thing, the Scott Martin tournament, that one right now, just looking at the regions, there are several regions in there that are very much up for grabs. That if you haven't signed up for this yet and you're fishing this weekend, Really good opportunity to get inside that top 10 and top 20 and to win something cool. And then that's the second round of that is actually starting on the 26th. And that's just cool. You qualify to an in-person championship, and then you can,
$20.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think, and this is something that if you're getting into it now, I think you're only going to see this become more and more commonplace in the fishing space. And I think this is also going to be something that will drive overall participation in tournament fishing for in-person events as well. The people that, we had thousands of people fish the Strike King tournaments last year there and this year. And the one thing that was good to see in there is there's a lot of people that was their first time fishing a competition of any type, and them being more knowledgeable at that point about tournament fishing, just because they can go see the other tournaments on the app, and then pushing them to that next step of maybe they're getting in a kayak or being a co-angler in an event, and then eventually stepping up and getting into an in-person tournament as a boater. We want to be doing things that are growing our sport and connecting people and making it, sometimes it can be intimidating if you're somebody that's just, got a fire for bass fishing and you want to get into the tournament side. There's so much stuff, unwritten rules and things that you have to know, like make sure you take your transom straps off when you're pressured in the morning to get your boat off the trailer. There's just there's some time on the water and experience that goes into that. And I feel like this is going to be a funnel for leading people to sort of take that leap, to pursue that next level of the sport. And, the nationwide tournaments, the CPR, because you can do it from anywhere and you just need your phone measuring board and your tournament identifier code. I think it creates a pathway to grow the sport. And I think that, for your audience, for them to give it a shot and just see what's going on there. I think there's a lot of great things in the future to come with it as well.
I have to log back into my Fishing Chaos app on my phone because I forgot my password, so I had to change it to show it on to show it on the screen up here. But I like how I spent 45 minutes an hour kind of messing around with it. Set a couple questions in as far as how to submit the fish, but it literally, you can hit submit. You're in your tournament. It shows your tournament. You literally hit submit catch. Mm-hmm. It comes up length. You put your length in. It says add photo. You hit add photo. You take a picture of your fish. You make sure that the nose is on the bump board and it's at the end, and all that's in the rules. I didn't need to go through that now. You literally upload it, and it instantly shows up on the leaderboard. Now there's not a green check mark next to it. What it then goes through is the process
RTM
on the back end. I don't know what that is, but then that fish, once it is verified, automatically updates on the leaderboard, and it takes, well, I'm not going to lie. So okay, my hand is kind of bloody there. I have a mark there, and I may have an infected foot because I am not particularly used to measuring larger bass. Like usually it's a grip and grin, or it goes in the live well if you're in a tournament. Those kayak folks, oh, God bless you, because trying to measure an angry 21 to 23 inch largemouth bass or smallmouth bass to get it down, there is an art form to that. And I have had probably 3 of the most severe injuries, tried to get those suckers to lay flat and get a good picture of it. But actually the last couple times out, there's some little tricks of the trade to get that fish to lay flat, to get it to kind of calm down.
Are you setting the hook hard enough? Are you setting the hook hard enough to?
Yeah. No, I am. But that is the hardest part for me, is to get, but it's super simple. You do it, you lay the fish down, boom, you upload it, and you're back to fishing, and you don't have to worry about it. Mm-hmm. That's all there is to it. And you're entered in the tournament. You're entered for that month. You're entered in the overall. If there's you're in an additional tournament, it's really freaking cool, especially with the way that technology, I'm not trying to sell anyone here. I'm excited about this because, a lot of talk about technology and bass fishing recently over the past couple years, and social media, and how all this stuff, is it good? Is it bad? Where is it going? And I think that this is a really cool opportunity. We've seen with what Logan Parks has done with it. Scott's jumped on the train. That it's a really cool opportunity for those 3 E's: entertain, educate, and engage. And it just takes a little bit of effort, and I think it adds so much to your overall fishing experience.
Yeah, and it's created. I mean, it's been cool to see like events like the Red Clay Strays and the Southern String Classic, where you had thousands and thousands of people at them, and a lot of people that were introduced to competition style fishing either by being a fan of the Red Clay Strays or being like a subscriber to Southern String Hats, which that's this hat. That they were introduced to this side of it, and it was kind of cool to see the people that are continuing to progress and fish more competitions in here, and you just kind of see that pathway from casual angler to now there's a competitive element to this that makes this completely different, which is what everybody watching, what we all understand is that the competitive side of it is just so cool. And so I think if you get in there, you fish this one, you look at what else is going on there. Obviously, as we get into 2026 in the spring, there's going to be a lot more opportunities there too. I would love to know from your audience as well. And Matt, we were talking about this last night. Like, there will be challenges and achievements. There will be rankings for where you are at within your state, how many quality fish that you have scored. Like, I would love to know ideas for tournaments or achievements that your audience has. Like, if it was first person to catch 20 fish that are 20 inches. If it's, the person that has the most keeper fish caught in the course of a month. I mean, we're talking about some potential like Guinness World Record nominations here. Like the competitions that you can have as an angler to try to achieve something, and something that, everybody's going to be kind of competing and going towards that target.
I also like the fact that tournament bass fishing at the highest level is somewhat of an elitist sport. That's the matter of the fact. I mean, you've got a lot of guys who start with nothing and work their way to the top, but for a guy who enjoys it, who covers it, who works his ass off on a 9 to 5 and maybe kayak fishes or has the John boat or fishes from the bank from his local lake, you have just as much, if not, I think it's the guy in Florida in the Big Three, like all of his fish I'm seeing are measured on grass, which means that he's winning. He's leading the whole thing off of the bank.
You talking about Kyler?
I think so. Is that not? Are those fish not?
He is catching those from the bank, and that is a
that's what I'm
accessible
saying.
Body of water.
It's totally cool, because do I have advantage that Scott from the Bass Tank has my 0 degree dialed in? Absolutely. But could you also have an advantage of getting in some backwater areas, some things with a kayak on small public bodies of water that may not allow an engine? They're public, but I mean, there's places in Oklahoma that like I would love to go fish, but they're totally public. You go, they're open, but it's no gas powered motors on it. So I can't put my boat in and I don't have it. Now you've got the advantage in the 2-man with the trolling motor.
Yep. Well, Matt, and this might be a testament to, I guess, this might be, I say more about my angling skills than anything, but the biggest fish that I caught in Oklahoma in the 3 years that I lived there when I was working at Major League Fishing was fishing like a creek that was literally like this wide at a public park, and just had some good current flow, or just you could tell like the stream, I guess, from the hills up in the park were actually flowing into this little pond in a tiny little stream. I just threw a chatterbait up in there and caught a 7-pounder, and I did not score that into a fish because fishing to a tournament, because that wasn't possible at the time. But I mean, that was from the bank, and I fished Grand and 10 Killer and all those other lakes all the time, Dripping Springs. So yeah, I mean, there's opportunity with bank angling, obviously, to get places where other people can.
Frank mentions trolling motors. Trolling is allowed too. I mean, you could get into the semantics. We'll have that in the rules. I mean, for the BTL side, you want to go out and enjoy a day with your grandkid or your wife or by yourself and troll a Norman DD22 and catch one, friggin' have at it. As long as it's in the mouth in a sporting fashion and you're not snagging them. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's all sorts of those rules that Tom and I are working on finalizing and solidifying those for BTL. But I mean, that's kind of where I am on that. And I'm kind of running the tournament like that. So
Well, because we don't have registration open yet, that is a good call out. If you're watching this, definitely go to Fishing Chaos and you can go to the community tab, and then you'll see a BTL icon there that click on that, follow that community, and then you'll get updates, as we make announcements of the tournament.
Yeah, so like right here on the side, there's a community tab. You have all the different teams that have done it. There's the BTL one that was just made. It talks about the intro. All the updates will be there too. I'm also going to put some BTL shows for the community that wants to watch it. There's yesterday's show. That was wild. I did a call-in show. Had a dude from England call in who didn't even fish, hadn't fished, just wanted to chat with someone that was live. So I talked to him for 20 minutes about bass fishing and carp fishing and all sorts of stuff, ask him about his thoughts on forward-facing sonar, the whole 9 yards. And it was cool because it was like a complete, he's in England. Like he didn't know what bass fishing or tournament fishing was. He just wanted to chat. It's so towards awesome. The end of the show, his name was Bear. So
I love that.
Listen, you could do can you chum the water? Can you troll? We're keeping this like a normal bass tournament.
Wide open.
Well, no, we're keeping this like a normal bass tournament. It's artificial lures. It's just bass fishing. Like it's for St. Jude too, 100%. So all that is covered. Like the Scott Martin rules is like 20 pages of rules. Just like when I sign up for a Bassmaster Open, it's a book that's that thick. And then also some really cool prizes from the BTL sponsors, as well as cash prizes for the top finishers too. We're still working on all those details, but I definitely wanted to get Tom on to announce it. A lot of questions about measuring boards, about measuring devices. Tom, is there a link? Is there a tab? I know when I signed up for it, in those rules, it said, hey, here's the list of approved boards. Here's what you can and can't have. Here's how you measure your fish. All that is going to take one time out, maybe 2 times out to get kind of comfortable with it, to use, to familiar with it. And then it'll be like second nature.
Yeah, and I would say invest in a good measuring board. I messed up and got a 22-inch measuring board. So get one that's at least 25. Get one that's rigid. Don't get like a plastic one. Get one that you're going to be able to clearly see the numbers on it. Once you fish one of these, you'll be fishing more because it's addictive, just like any other kind of competitive fishing. So I would just invest in a good, solid metal measuring board that's at least 24, 25 inches.
Yeah. And this is like pretty basic. So this will be in there too. So like on this one, it's the photo should capture the entire fish directly from the overhead. Belly fish must be pacing towards. Fish's nose must be touching. You cannot abstract. The zero end must be of the approved measuring devices. There's a section here that talks about approved measuring devices, a suggestion, Gator Grip, Golden Rule measuring boards, catch boards, Cabela's aluminum fish, Check It sticks, the hog trough. You cannot use a collapsible or foldable. You cannot use one that expands. Tape measures are not allowed. And you guys, when it goes through that process, I know that there have been some controversies in the kayak world about boards and guys that are altering boards and all that. When those fish go through the verification process, that's all part of it too, that it is a certified board, that is allowed, that is not tampered with, that the fish's nose is directly to it, that it's at the right angle. And then you can see like here, so like there'll be a code, it'll be like, BTL 123, or be random. And then that has to be visible in all of the fish that you submit for that contest. It's just like any other process. Like I said, if you're new to it, 1-2 times out, you might make a mistake. You might have a fish that doesn't count for you or anything. But
I'll tell you the one thing right now to keep in mind, like when you're taking a picture of the fish, it's just like reading a book. You got to have it left to right, with the one on the left. And I guess like we're inverted here. So
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
The head is on the 90 degree.
The fish is right side up.
Mouth closed.
Mouth's closed. Don't, try to stretch the tail or anything.
Let me see here. Here, I'll show my catch log. I feel like I've done a fairly good job doing this because I've been a little bit anal on it. but like,
I mean, they're all getting approved, so
yeah.
you're good in Amanda's book.
So, and then boom. So like there, the nose is touching. There's my tournament entry. I have, I think it's a Gator board or whatever. It says what type it is, but it's an approved device. It's a 25 inches long. Now mine is only in half inches, so I'm losing a quarter of an inch. If you have one that's in a quarter of an inch, you round down to the nearest quarter of an inch. So I could have a 20 3/4. That would get submitted as a 20 1/2 because I don't. I had that issue yesterday because I don't. Correct. But you can see then where the tail is out, left to right. I'm holding the fish, mouth closed, clearly touching above, left to right. Boom, done. And the cool thing is you can see everyone else's catches and how they submit them and stuff too.
Yep. Absolutely.
How many fish do you have a ballpark? How many fish have been scored in the Fishing Chaos app?
Well, I can tell you I did a report the other day, which is really interesting, of 250,000 fish catches. That was from the past 2 years. So more than that, quite a few.
So over 250,000 fish have gone through the Fishing Chaos app. When it comes to we in the tournament world, we think of organizations and we think of where we're spending our money, whether that's a local team trail, a regional trail, a national trail. I don't know much about it, and I know what you're going to say, but I would venture to say as far as the most trusted online measuring and behind the scenes, but just for this aspect, I mean, Fishing Chaos is number one.
Absolutely. Yeah. We had 1,000 active tournaments active simultaneously at one point during May and June, and that was in person and online tournaments. We have, organizations like Bass Nation on here. We've got, I think we have 11 or 12 of the Bass Nation groups in here that, they attribute, they give us a lot of credit for, good things happening on their side and the organization behind it. And then
go ahead.
Yeah. It is trusted. And of course I would say we are number one. I mean, I know we're number one, but yeah, we're trusted by a lot of people.
So you obviously have fans of Bill Dance that follow Bill Dance. They wear the Tennessee hat. They catch their bass on a dancing eel sitting in a butt seat. They sign up for Bill Dances. You got fans of Scott Martin who sign up for it. You have fans of listeners of BTL, listeners and viewers who sign up for that. But it is also open to, these nationwide tournaments are open to anybody. So, you don't have to be a BTL listener, just like if you sign up for the BTL one and want to jump in the Bill Dance one or the Scott Martin one, you can compete at those simultaneously too. So you were talking, you said there's a lot of guys who fun fish. They don't fish in-person tournaments, but if they're going to the lake, they'll jump on Fishing Chaos, see what's available to them, see what tournaments are, drop their $20, $30 entry fee, and now they're competing in a tournament too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'd say that tends to be, a third to half the people that are in the nationwides.
Here's the other thing that I think is cool about this. With partnering with Fishing Chaos, you're going to be a regular on BTL. Now, you'll be on a couple of the regular Monday through Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Central Time BTL shows, but we're also going to add additional Fishing Chaos, BTL, and St. Jude tournament shows that highlight the monthly winners, that have the leaders on the show to talk about it, the Q&A shows, the support shows. It's easy for me to have understood this because I have someone and a contact in you and with the Fishing Chaos where I can say, hey, what if I don't have a signal? What if I'm going to a lake that doesn't have a signal? Or am I measuring this fish correctly? Or does this bump board work? I think that's important to have, and that's what we'll have on the BTL side too. So
yeah. And you can message me directly. You can message Amanda. I mean, yeah, we're always there to answer those questions.
And then we'll catch up on it, on the rules, on how it's going on the month and stuff, and we'll have BTL shows that deal with it. Now, this might be stepping outside the bounds, but what do we think? What do we think the target goal for number of entries overall is. Like for the number of BTL listeners and viewers and Fishing Chaos users to do this over the course of the entire year. I would love, we don't have to come up with it now, but I want you to kind of think of it. I would love to set a number for the donation amount that we get through this. And I kind of want to set it soon so we can go back in April and see it. But for the amount that Fishing Chaos BTL, the BTL listeners and viewers through this tournament raises for St. Jude, and then also the number of entries. Because this is a nationwide, this is international. We've decided.
I love predicting this. This is awesome. I'd love to see 1,000 people in there score at least.
That's the number that I was thinking 100% over the time.
At least 50, like score at least 15 fish over the course of all of this.
Yeah, I think 1,000 is what we shoot for, which is ambitious. But
I mean, think of the money that raises for St. Jude. That's powerful stuff.
And the reason we don't have the prizes out is I'm actually like working with these companies to do it. But like I said, monthly prizes, monthly prize packs for the top 5, and then the specialty tournaments for depending on what part of the country you're in. But we're talking big prizes in product, and then also, and I'll say it. You said, hey, the top finishers, throw a little cash in, because there's some people that they're not. They are BTL listeners, and if you can just see what you can win, hey, you'll get more donations there if there's a little bit of coin that goes with some of the top finishers too. So also, if you're donating, you're doing it, you're fishing all the time, you're finishing at the top. Now you're really donating, and you're not out even more. So,
yep.
It's an easy sell, not a sell. It's an easy concept, I think, for. What generation are we in? What are like 16 to 25-year-olds called now, Tom?
Gen Z?
I don't know what gen they're in.
I don't even know, man. I know I'm a millennial, I think.
Yeah.
Which we used to be the bad guys, and now we're like right there with the baby boomers, man.
Yeah.
Like
It used to be funny. Not even that long ago, I'd look at a guy and be like, "Oh, that dude's cool. He's living the dream," or he's And now I'm looking at it and it's like, "Oh man, you got your finances in order. You've got a 30 by 40 shop, and you've got it." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you got it together."
Guys doing it right.
In bed by 9 on a Friday, but
oh gosh, that would be amazing.
Here's what I really want to challenge: if you're in, and I'm going to say this because I've seen it with the technology in fishing here. If you're in one of those groups where you're like, not my thing, never done it, never gonna do it. You know those guys, don't you, Tom?
Yep.
I know those guys. I
used to be one of those guys.
I am one of those guys too. But I worked with Jeffries for a lot of times. Jeffries, pretty hard to get him to do something that he's not familiar with. Frank Scalish, very open-minded in things. But if you're in one of those to where you've got the phone, but you're not a huge app guy, you've never measured a fish, you've never done an online tournament or something, I urge you to give it a shot. And if you don't like it, if it's not your cup of tea, if you're struggling with it, reach out. I'm actually working on getting a new BTL email too. It'll be like info@btl.com and stuff, or matt@basszone.com is my email you can reach me out on. But give it a shot. And if it's not your cup of tea, guess what? You just donated to St. Jude. You're not out any money. You're probably, hopefully, going to donate that anyway. But I think you will be surprised at how enjoyable it is. Even if you fish once every couple of months, if you're a tournament angler, like you can be in an in-person tournament. Like you can be fishing with your bass club in a tournament, catch a 5-pounder, and instead of just throwing it in the box, put your identifier down, throw it on the board, take a picture, then throw it in the box. Now you're with the Fishing Chaos and you're fishing your club tournament too.
Yeah, take that extra step that you would for a fish that's a borderline 14-incher and put it on a measuring board, take a picture of it, put your tournament identifier in there. You don't have to score it right then. If you're in the pressure of a tournament, you don't have to score it right that second. Just score when you get back to the ramp. But yeah, that's a good point too, Matt. I'd love to see, like, if your listeners, like, the one favor I would ask is if you give it a shot, like help us make this app better. I mean, this is not the final version of this. We're always working to improve and make this a better tool for anglers and tournament organizations. My email's tom.brubaker@fishingchaos.com. Please reach out. I would really appreciate, the anglers, guiding what the future of this looks like. Like, I'm a tournament angler, fished the BFLs and local tournaments and all that stuff. And, I got a baby coming any day now. So I think that might be coming to a temporary.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. So, I just put a baby carrier in my car. That was weird. My car seat. Yeah. But yeah, that would be huge, is if you can help us, make this better. We can't do it without you.
And if you want to jump in, if you want to hit the ground running when BTL launches, now there'll be different tweaks, but do what I did, drop $20, jump onto the Fishing Chaos app, sign up for your region. It's super easy to do, to walk through, and jump in the Scott Martin one. Like I said, there's different, but you'll get to see the rules. You'll get to see all the different tweaks. You'll get to join the team. You'll get to do all that stuff. And like I said, I was not comfortable doing this show and talking about it until I had done it. It's kind of like I do with all the sponsors of BTL. There's not a single sponsor of BTL that I don't use, that I don't know how it kind of works behind the scenes with them. Just that's the integrity of BTL. Like, I've turned down numerous sponsors because of that. So I am super excited about this, and I'm hoping, I don't want to undershoot it, but I'm thinking at the end of this, we could have, a show at the end of April where we have winners on from throughout the year and the best catches, and we release an insane total that gets donated to St. Jude. And there's a lot of people that are like, holy cow. Like, it's amazing what one group, one community, one listener base can do. And all they did was go fishing and get their competitive juices flowing.
Well said. Yeah, that's
Anything
what it was
else
for me, Matt. I mean, I'll just say again, like, that, where it clicked for you and you got excited about it. That's when, I was working at Rather Outdoors and Striking and Lose at the time. And when I went out and actually fished, and obviously I'd already used them for, running our in-person tournaments and online tournaments. When I went actually out and fished, it kind of clicked with me. And that was the thing that got me really excited about it. And ultimately,
I had conversations with people. I'm like, what the heck is Brubaker doing? Like, is that striking? He's leaving Striking and Lose for a kayak tournament fishing platform. Like I said, I'd had Logan Parks on, I didn't. And like I said, it's evolving, it's changing, it's growing, but it's been a while since I've been excited about something that's cool. Cody mentions, is it an individual or a team thing? That's the beauty of it. It's both. So the overall year-long deal is an individual thing. But the day 4 with Frank Scalish, you'll not only be able to fish individually in that, but similar to like there is in the Scott Martin, there'll be Team Scalish, there'll be a Team Pangrak, there'll be a Team Scalish Junior. And whoever you want to fish for, your inches then go to that team. And if you're part of that winning team at the end of that month, you not only get the individual prize at the end of that month, but you also, there's also a team prize if you're on the winning team. So it kind of generates some camaraderie. There's I don't want to say it now, but there's a number of other guys too that are going to jump in on that. And then at the BTL one at the end there in March, and the March to April too, there'll be another team element to that. But that's why I said it takes a little bit. There's some layers involved in it. There's some rules involved in it. And once you wrap your head around it, I think it's awesome. And then especially, if you get it and you understand it and stuff, like, dude, introduce your friends to it, go fishing with them. This is the other thing that's cool is, you can go fishing with your buddies and you're both fishing in the tournament.
Yeah. Have a little head-to-head competition there.
Yeah. Cause I could see if I've got, someone in Missouri who's like, dude, I'm catching these awesome fish here and I'm in it. I'm like, well, I'm going to come up, cause I think I'm tapped out in Oklahoma, but I can, go up and catch some of those fish. And if you're in that region and you're also not competing against, a dude on, if you're in Kansas, you're not competing against a dude that's just smoking 25 inches in Florida on a punch rig. You know what I mean? Like you're competing against other people in that region.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, through those, 250,000 fish, it's really allowed us to hone
Frank,
in on
your teams. So the team element is just a fun little side thing on this. Like it's not, you don't have to pick someone in your region at all. It doesn't matter. You can pick people from whoever the country. It's basically who you like want to win with. So like if you want to see Frank Scalish win, then you pick Frank's team. If you want to be on team BTL and Matt Pangrak, then you pick my team. Kind of some bragging rights and things, just, and then at the end, the top guys, from that team then get, unreleased AFCO hat or something like that.
Pretty sweet. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with the Scott Martin, like you mentioned, trying that one out first, or, the Bill Dance one. Mm-hmm. That'll get you into the motion of it. The team series element that exists in the Scott Martin Challenge one. I don't know if technically I should say this, but if you do fish that tournament, jump on Tristan McCormick and Hilary Martin's team, because they're struggling right now. They're dead last.
No, you need to jump on Team Bug Bite, which is Kyle Patrick. Get on Kyle Patrick's team. I'm on Kyle Patrick's team. Yeah, he's struggling too. Right,
yeah, Team Bug Bite. That's for a good cause as well. Help out Kyle. I don't know, but that's the thing. If you win the regions in those, you actually qualify to fish with or against those people in an in-person tournament, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah. So, did I leave anything out, Tom? I know as details come out, we'll have little segments where you come back on. If you sign up for Fishing Chaos, you don't have to sign up for any tournaments. It's totally free to get on there and then get on the community. Get on the community tab right there and join the BTL, where a lot of info will be out there. And then eventually, once it's all said and done, I'm assuming that the BTL will then go up on a banner here to where it'll be super easy to find and enter it.
Once we publish it, it'll be sitting right there. Mm-hmm.
And I think this is a win-win-win-win.
I don't
see any way that this is not a really cool thing.
Let's raise $100,000 for St. Jude.
Oh my gosh! We were doing 1,000 people. We didn't do that.
Come on, 1,000 people. What's 1,000 people? $100. Let's go.
Yeah, but it's going to be less than 100, I think.
Yeah.
With that, those are kind of the details that we're working out on the back end right now. Yeah, we might have a Team Jeffries too for the end.
We got to have a Team
Better
Jeffries.
Hope for that month, March through April, that they're biting a Carolina rig, though.
Hey,
Team Jeffries.
The entertain, educate, engage. I have used that ever since Jeffries first said that.
Yeah.
That's
Dougie said is following the BTL community on the app the same thing as joining. Might be stupid. So there's no tournament to sign up for as of September 18th. It's not out there. It's finalized. We have that tournament done. But right now, this was just a informative show to kind of get people into it, to understand more, to answer some questions. So when that tournament pops up in the upcoming weeks, this show will be out there to educate on it. So now you just join the community, and then you just wait for the official announcement, because we're kicking things off right off the hopper, because I know with the day 4, a lot of those are Northeast viewers. A lot of those are the Chicago area. That October to November is a great fall bite, but then you guys are kind of socked in. There's going to be opportunity. I don't want to put the cart ahead of the horse, but there's going to be some really cool stuff with some other ones going down. So, I don't want to spill the
beans on Bartuzik's deal, but he's got some cool things coming too.
It was interesting. Someone in the comments actually said, I can't wait to weigh in a largemouth through the ice on this. And I never even thought about that. But dude, I could be minnowing in Oklahoma in 50-degree water, competing against someone in Pennsylvania that's on a big northern strain bite for largemouth through the ice.
Yeah. And you could jump into an ice only competition. At the same time.
Yeah. Which, like I said, don't spill the beans. So,
well, yeah.
J Toad said, can I submit a fish from the Mexico trip in December for other fishing chaos tourneys, absolutely, as long as the Mexico is included in that big 3 division for other deals. So that was the other thing I mentioned. Let's say we do include it, and we are doing a BTL trip December to Lake El Salto in Mexico. Can I pay an additional, can the BTL listeners, let's say someone is from Nebraska and has paid his entry fee for that, can he pay an additional entry fee to then be entered into another division of that?
Well, so I think for this, I mean, it just depends on the tournament host in that situation. I think for this, given that it's,
I think
generating
yes.
money for St. Jude, well, if you say yes, then yes. I mean,
I
you
don't
can
see
set it
why
up to
you
where
wouldn't. Listen, I travel a lot, right? I may or may not be going out to California for part of Crappie Talk Live this winter on a lake that has big bass in it. Maybe I want to submit some catches in the big 3 out there. I might take a trip up to New York later this year to fish with Jody White. Maybe I want to, be in that north region.
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay.
You can do it. It's just up to you if you want to make, if that's an additional ticket. So it sounds like that's what we're doing.
Now we just have to, you just have to figure out how to make sure you have a proper bump board and get it down to Mexico. That's at least a 25, 26 inch long bump board that cannot fold, retract.
Yeah. I mean, you can allow for the foldable ones if you want. We just didn't allow that in Scott's.
I mean, is that just easier to maintain the integrity of the link?
Yeah, because sometimes people can like bend it slightly and then make it.
I'm all for good. I'm a rule stickler.
Cool. So is Amanda, RTM tournament judge. She's rejected Scott's catches from a couple tournaments, and it's been hilarious because he didn't have the tournament identifier. One, he had the fish upside down.
I know he was like making his own measuring board, and then he was like, I don't think this is going to work. Like when we were down in Mexico, and I'm like, I don't know.
He took a piece of cardboard and literally, and they had like 100-inch long measuring boards at the weigh-in because they used length, I guess, in that one. And yeah, I'm like, Scott, this isn't going to fly. Like, I'll see what Amanda does not, she doesn't budge on that, which is good.
Any additional non-BTL related fishing chaos tournaments that may be on the horizon that you want to tease without giving away the farm?
Well, there's some current ones on there on that featured spot that you can see. I mean, there's a Frog Fest tournament going on. There's one that's a sink fishing. That's a glide bait deal. That's pretty cool. There is the Strike King Big Bass USA Championship, which is getting ready to start in October. You got Jacob Wheeler's High School Bass Shootout on there. I mean, that's an in-person deal. Then you got Tyler Anderson has one that's a monthly deal going on. B-Lat's got the straight up fishing deal. And then the summer sprint, I think that one's about to end. And yeah, you've also got there's the Toadfish. They've got one going on right now.
Some of these you can't enter. Like some of them are like for just that club.
Yeah. You can join the club.
Well, what's the NPFL and stuff? What's that about?
So that one you actually can't join unless you're in the
that's
NPFL. But we do the live score. We do the live scoring, and then we integrate our API with their leaderboard live, so you can see the live standings. The live standings that you see on during NPFL events, that is through Fishing Chaos. So, so they have a little community.
Yeah. So like Tyler runs one. It's like, is it a monthly deal?
Yes.
So, and then like the winner, the prize for first place in each region is a mock combo of your choice. And it's, how much is that one to enter?
I think that one's free.
Oh, free. So there you go. You can just get on there, and then there's all the leaders for all the different divisions and stuff there.
Well, I got here 6 months ago, and at the time we were running some pretty cool tournaments, but we've continued to add to that. And so it's one of those things where they're not announced yet, but you're going to see a lot of tournaments into the spring, into that prime fishing time. They're going to have some really cool elements to them. Some things we're cooking up right now with a few different brands and celebrities, pro anglers, athletes, cool things like that. So definitely stay tuned.
Like A-list celebrities,
A-list
athletes.
athletes. Yep.
Very cool. So
like Matt Pangrak.
Oh,
A-list
yeah, no,
athlete.
that's I'm not A-list at anything. If you have questions on this, matt@basszone.com, thefishingchaos.com on the App Store, Fishing Chaos. A lot of the questions that I've had on it, the answers are on the website.
Mm-hmm.
The answers are also, you can like Google the answers and stuff, and it'll show you directly on Fishing Chaos where that is. And I look forward to working with you for next year as we work towards 1,000 anglers. And so here's why I think the 100,000 isn't outlandish. God, I can't believe we said that out loud, Tom. Because you're going to have your overall, right, for the 6 months that covers everything, but then there's also going to be a crappie element for the crappie guys that are in it. That's separate. And then there's also going to be the day 4 competition, which is going to be another small entry fee on that. And then the BTL went on a small entry fee on that at the end. Mm. And if we hit that 1,000 people, I think
it's on all of us. It's
$100,000, Tom.
I mean, I'm not promising that. Like, I mean, I
know, but
now
we've set the goal. So last year I set the goal for St. Jude for the team of Bartuzik and I to raise $50,000, and we did like 49,000. So we're pretty, which was, you know, a lot of that was a big help from the Zaldanes with what they did at the Bassmaster Classic with a lot of that, you know, it was like $150 to attend that thing, and every ticket, you know, a portion of that went to St. Jude.
I think we can.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you said it now, and if you want any more information on the Dick Hiley St. Jude Bass Classic, it is, you can just Google Dick Hiley St. Jude Bass Classic. That tournament is May 1st through 3rd in Wabasha, Minnesota. It has all of the different information. Actually, $8.7 million raised just from the 100 boat field. And this will be the first year that it is actually 100. There's all sorts of photos. There's all sorts of history on it. All sorts of really cool stuff. Also, if you want to see like how it goes down, Bartuzik actually did a feature-length film on it called The Jude that is on the Crappie Chronicles YouTube channel under Bart. Just Google The Jude Crappie Chronicles, Bart. I'll put the link for both this and the Fishing Chaos app and whatever else in the show description. Did we cover it? Do you feel comfortable with how that went?
I think
Did people have a better understanding of it?
I hope so. I'm fired up right now. I think we covered that adequately.
My biggest thing is people aren't used to it. They're not sure what it is, and they just say it's not something that I want to learn.
It's not a gimmick. It is real. It is just digital connectivity in the digital age, and we're going to use it to make tournament fishing better than it's ever been. So let's do it all together.
All right.
That's my rallying cry.
Tom Brubaker, we'll see you shortly, and that's all I got. Congrats! When are you're talking like days, weeks?
Yeah, the due date's the 30th.
Holy smoke! Yeah.
So yeah, we got our appointment next week, and they said that like if the baby hasn't come by Tuesday,
we'll get this stuff all finalized in the next couple of days, so then we can just boom go live, and then you can be at home. Boy or girl?
Girl. Yeah.
Very nice.
Girl. Yep. I would share the name, but I've been sworn to secrecy. And apparently my mom told all of my other relatives, so it's a whole thing right now at our house.
Did you catch all those fish behind you?
I caught none of these fish behind me. So the top one was my grandfather's catch.
Oh, that's cool.
The other two used to be in a Bass Pro Shops.
Oh, that's fair enough.
But I had to have a good background, you know. So
maybe Johnny caught them.
We'll say that. Yeah, Johnny caught that large.
Maybe KVD caught the bass and Johnny caught the king salmon.
Well, I know my grandfather caught that one, but
the king salmon. I thought he caught the. Wait, your grandpa caught the walleye, or your grandpa caught the king?
Yeah, he got the king, and that's like a skin mount, like that. I mean, like
that's a real one.
Yeah, that was in my car. It was like 110 degrees outside, and like I could smell fish oil in my car when I was moving. I'm like, oh my gosh, that thing's melting right behind me.
Oh yeah, no, that's awesome. So yeah, maybe Johnny caught the 10-pound walleye and Kevin caught the bass. Then we'll go with that.
Deal.
All right, see you, Tom.
Thanks, Matt. See ya.
All right, that's all we got for today. I'm super excited. I'm glad we did that show, and stay tuned to Bass Talk Live and Bass Zone as the details, and Fishing Chaos as the details come up. What I'd recommend is just downloading the Fishing Chaos app. I don't make a cent off of any of this the entire time. Like, I'm not trying to just pump Fishing Chaos. It just seemed like it worked together. I've known Tom for a long time, and I would call every once in a while and be like, now what if we did this? He's like, yeah, we can do that. And he'd be like, what if you added this element? And I'd be like, oh, that's good. And I said, what if I bring in these sponsors? And it said, yeah. And then eventually I got to a point where I just said, screw it, let's try it and see what happens. And it all goes to the good cause for St. Jude. So that's all we got for the special edition of BTL. We'll be back Monday, September. I'm horrible on dates. 22nd, 8:30 a.m. Central Time with the standard BTL show. We'll talk to everyone later. See ya.